Hi everyone, Merlin here. Welcome back to a special edition of Sengoku Dynasty. Today I just want to concentrate on one thing, and that's the latest announcement that came down a couple of days ago. In fact, it was yesterday, to the game in regarding there's a new combat system coming. It's going to come in part, well, in part, it's going to be coming in the next update, which is the Ikigai Camp update, and that's coming in at some point in August. So what I'm going to do first of all is just run through what they've said, and then kind of put some comments to myself as we go through. So let's start at the beginning. So Sengoku means the country of war, a nation of warring states. It was a time when the entire medieval Japan was in conflict. There was no single ruler, no shogun, just only clans, pirates, and bandits. And those who wanted peace would struggle to find it. In Sengoku Dynasty, your adventures happen far away from the Daimyo territories, allowing you to enjoy bloodless gameplay without the need of combat, conquering the map with peaceful methods only. You will even have the option to opt out fighting entirely by choosing the chill game mode. And that's going to continue, that isn't going to change. So for those that don't want to get involved in heavy combat at all, because if memory serves me right, there are five levels to this game, and the basic one is just like a sandbox, and then you kind of move up in order. I think is like easy, normal, aggressive, and then custom. So those that just want to do a sandbox will be able to continue doing that. So it goes on to say, however, as the game name suggests, the time has come to reveal more about what we intend for the release of 1.0 of Sengoku Dynasty. Playing aggressive game modes, you find yourself in the land under the rule of various enemies and hostile factions. You will have the possibility to conquer the map region by region and bring peace to communities that live there. And to do so, you will need to fight. So just to kind of confirm the situation, this game is currently in early access. There's no data when it's going to go to live to 1.0. That hasn't been foretold. But what they're looking to do is to bring something, and they'll confirm in a minute when I read the rest of it. They're going to bring in some sort of element into the game to give you an idea of what is going to be happening when the game actually goes live properly. The combat system in Sengoku Dynasty will be focused on testing your skills and utilizing your gear. If you're skilled enough, you should be able to defeat most enemies from the start. If you're extremely skilled, you will destroy them even with a wooden stick. However, if you prefer a more economical playstyle, you can invest your time to craft the greatest weapons and armors worthy of the best Japanese smiths and defeat opponents without panicking about your survival. So it's concentrating on the word your. There's no mention of a militia, there's no mention of someone supporting you, it's purely you on your own. Which I do find a bit strange, given the fact being is that this is supposed to be a game about you and your villagers, your fellow villagers. The fact that they would stay back in the village and do everything else they need to do and you be out there on your own. But also it looks at the fact that the skill levels seem to be the element of where you will benefit. So then that kind of sort of thing, it says, you will destroy them even with a wooden stick. So if you've got a high enough skill level, you could turn out with a good old-fashioned wooden spear and just defeat most enemies. Now, in that situation, what's the point of creating any other weapons at all, apart from maybe a bow and arrow and a wooden spear? Because all you need to do is build the skills up and save on your iron and your steel. That kind of sort of defeats the object again of what's the point of that? Surely, hopefully, or surely anyway, definitely, that you need to have the skills to run alongside the more powerful weapons as you go through. But it does say you have the opportunity to craft the greatest weapons and armors worthy. So it is saying to you that you will be able to create them, But then do you need them? Why waste the resources? Then the next part says combat mechanics were inspired amongst others by the Souls game system. So you can refer to it as Souls-like, or we call it Souls-light. They involve attacks requiring full body movement that you can chain into combos that break your opponent's poise and knock them down or back. There will be quick and heavy attacks that can be interrupted based on your own levels. And of course, using heavy attacks will burn through your stamina. So again, in this point, it still continues the fact being that you're the only one that's doing this. There's no one else to help you. You go around the map, you defeat bandits at the moment, usually 2 or 3 at a time, but you can kind of do it from a distance generally with a decent bow and arrow, and that's about it. It says fighting pose will require dashing, blocking, and powering to avoid their damage. Performing perfectly timed parries is the fastest way to stop their combos, break the posture, and to deliver the finishing blow. A variety of new weapons will have their own parry and block effectiveness, as well as different damage values, and will affect the encumbrance. Now, the word encumbrance suggests weights and carry weights. This game doesn't currently have a carry weight inventory. So are they suggesting that actually they're going to change the whole way of what inventory you can carry by changing over to weight encumbered rather than slots? So it's kind of going on the same sort of lines as Medieval Dynasty. That's currently weight encumbered, whereas this has never been. It's always been about the number of slots that you use. So whether it's a tool or weapon, it's always 1 slot. Or whether it's grass, you get like 100 pieces of grass to a slot. Or if it's stone, you get 25 pieces of stone to a slot. But if you're carrying a heavier weapon, does that suggest that they're going to use, say, you're going to have 2 slots for 1 weapon? Who knows? We're also working on the enemy AI. The opponents will try to avoid getting stabbed and die stupidly by spreading all around the player and attacking you one by one. Fighting multiple adversaries at the same time will be much more challenging than a duel. Nevertheless, there will be some mechanics to help you overcome the difficulty. More advanced enemies will require much more skill and significantly better gear, so be prepared. So the first part of that, again, kind of goes on the grounds that, yeah, you could be facing more than one person, but they'll only have one person attack you at any one time, which is similar to what it is at the moment in some respect. And okay, maybe that's a visual thing more than anything else. But then it goes back and says that more advanced enemies would require better skill and gear. Well, that sort of counteracts basically what they said just a minute ago up here about using a wooden stick. So again, it goes back to say beforehand, it says that if you're extremely skilled, you will destroy them even with a wooden stick. Bit of kind of inconsistency there, but again, until we know what's the full details, I suppose it's a bit difficult to say. I think the final thing in this particular section, it says that this is not just a teaser. We are very excited to announce that a very limited beta version of this system will find its way into the update amongst other features. You will be able to fight some basic bandits and maybe find their large camp somewhere on the map, wielding a yari or a katana and honing your parry skills before we add more enemy camps and bosses to the game. So looking at this is that this is going to be a phased in over a given period of time, that they're going to have more and more enemy camps coming in. Your feedback is crucial, therefore we want you to test the early version of the system so we know what elements of it will require the most polishing before the 1.0 release. So I think first of all my question to myself is basically, am I against this coming in? And I think the answer is no, but I think also on the same side of the coin, I think it has to be, it has to be a small part of the game and not a bigger part, because totally get the fact that the name of the title tells you that it's country at war. I totally understand the situation in that process. However, I imagine like a lot of people, when you started this game up, it wasn't something that you would expect to be doing a lot of. because you want to focus on concentrating looking after your village, although after a while there's not much more you can do with that. And it's nice to get out and about, but you know, did any of us actually start to play this game with domination in mind? If you did, then fine. But when I looked at this game and when I started playing this game, and same with Medieval Dynasty, there was never any question in my mind of whether or not that I would need to start thinking about conquering the map to bring peace to the area. I think it'd be interesting to know what what you guys think about this, what your thoughts are. How is it going to affect your game moving forward? Are you looking forward to it? Are you not looking forward to it? So, what I would say is, let's see what comes out. I'll be very interested in your comments of what you think is going to happen and whether or not this affects your gameplay. So thanks for watching today. If you like the content, then click the like button and the subscribe. If you've got any questions, as always, please put them in the comments section, and I'll look to answer them where I can. Other than that, let's watch this space and see what happens with this new update. See you soon.